Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a most festive episode of Ted's Booze Cellar, the premier alcohol review show here on YouTube. Now, I am your most gracious host, Ted, and I'm just bringing up some information on today's drink, because today we're going to be taking a look at a drink from our old friends at Tiny Rebel, who are quickly becoming one of my favourite craft breweries. And this drink in question is a take on a drink that I've reviewed from them before. Now, many of you will remember from when I reviewed their Marshmallow and Espresso Porter Stay Puft, and this is much of the same, except this is Stay Puft Imperial Eggnog Marshmallow White Porter. So this, from what I can tell, seems to be a similar vein to the Stay Puft drink that we reviewed from them before, but instead of being coffee-based, it's instead eggnog and marshmallow-based. Now, eggnog probably isn't as common in the UK as it is in the USA, but I have had it a couple of times in coffee form, and it's been pretty nice. So I can't remember when I've had it in alcohol form, or if I ever had, so this is going to be interesting. I must have to say, like, that I really like the look of the can. It's very handsome. It's got like a nice Christmassy design with some punky sort of artwork there. So it's a good mixture of colours and designs. A little bit of Christmassy spirit with the snowflakes there and the mixture of blue, red and white. And also, as always, the handsome addition of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man with the Stormtrooper helmet on top. And with a handsome glass of eggnog. Now, this is £5.29 from the Wine Barrel on Western Road in Hove. So it's roughly in the same region of pricing as the previous Stay Puft drink I reviewed from Tiny Rebel. But we're going to have a proper good look at it and see what it's like, because I want to sort of give this a good chance, and even if it doesn't end up being great, I think I can still be confident in the fact that Tiny Rebel so far have been pretty consistent in their appearances on this show. I will say that I will have to give the design of this can a 10 out of 10. I really like the look of it, so let's give it a sniff and see what our first impressions are like. It's almost this weird... God, I don't know what to think about that. Custardy, sort of vanilla-y, weird sort of apple-y smell in there. But yeah, there's this eggy, vanilla-y, custardy sort of smell, which is kind of what I was kind of expecting to get. But there's this weird sort of fruity sort of sourness at the end that I'm really not sure about. So I'll give the smell a 6 out of 10. It still smells nice. It's just not quite what I expected, and it's like a bunch of flavours that I don't know if they would necessarily mix, but I'm going to give it a fair shot anyway. So the smell is still a respectable 6 out of 10, but let's pour it into this glass and see what it looks like. Okay, so it kind of does look a bit like what you would expect eggnog to look like if it was a beer, so I suppose that's not really too far from what they're making. So let's give this a shot and see what it's like. So, but before we do that, a quick palate cleanser of water. And then on to the most important part of the video, which is to see what this festive little treat tastes like. So, bottoms up and a Merry Christmas and Hanukkah to you all. You know what? This is a 9% alcohol drink, but initially you don't get a sense of that. You get a more or so sense of its strength in the aftertaste, but even then it's quite subdued by the fact that the flavours are fairly mild and quite evenly balanced throughout. There's this tiny bit of like a marshmallowy sweetness at the beginning, which they did mention on the front of the can there. That's kind of sort of like brings up this image of like soft fluffiness and light sort of vanilla-y sweetness. And then there is sort of like a distinctly eggnoggy sort of like flavour throughout the rest of it, with a finish of distinct vanilla. So the flavour is actually fairly like plain and straightforward, and you are pretty much getting what it says on the tin. This is basically a eggnog, slightly vanilla-y, marshmallowy white porter, and yeah, it's pretty much what it says on the tin. Like, there's nothing really much else to say about it other than what I described already about how the flavour develops throughout the taste, and the texture's quite smooth. It's a little bit watery towards the end, which I'm not a massive fan of, but generally speaking, it's a good porter. Like, I think I prefer this one to the espresso porter, the Stay Puft espresso porter that I reviewed a while back from Tiny Rebel. But generally speaking, this is pretty good. I feel it's probably a bit deceptive because it doesn't taste like a 9% alcohol volume beer, but once you've had a few of these, you probably feel like you've had a few of those, so if you know what I mean. But generally speaking, this is pretty good. I feel like it could have a slightly more developed flavour in terms of the vanilla and the eggnog a little bit more, and that the texture could be a little bit more consistent, and it would be better served by having a more creamy finish than a slightly watery one. But generally speaking, this is still a nice white porter. So I'll give it a 9. Sorry, not 9. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because it's not quite good enough, I think, to be an elite level porter, but it's still damn good, and it probably is one I'll buy again to enjoy around the Christmas period. So yeah, well done to Tiny Rebel once again. This is actually pretty good stuff. So yeah, if you guys like this video, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future episodes of Ted's Booze Cellar, leave them in the comment section down below. And if you want to check out anything else I do online, I'll leave links to my social medias and other YouTube channels in the video description down below. But as always, have fun, stay safe with whatever you're doing, don't do anything I wouldn't do, wash your hands, take a mask with you to the shops, drink responsibly, know your limits, and I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar. Happy Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Eid, and I'll see you guys next time.